welcome everybody. And obviously, this call is all about fitness and wellness. And when I think of that, I have a young lady on the line here that emphasis on the word young, by the way, that I've known since 1992, and she brought fitness. She didn't bring fitness to BodyWise, but she certainly put her stamp on it. It's a professor, retired. Debbie Powers is going to be, I couldn't think of a better moderator between Debbie and her husband, Jim. I mean, they epitomize athletic performance and wellness. And it just so happened, and we've spoken earlier, right before the call, that Debbie was the leading scorer for Indiana University women's basketball team a few years ago that made the Final Four. And she is an assistant professor emerita of wellness at Ball State University, co-author of the textbook, A Wellness Way of Life, 11 editions, by the way. I think they just finished the 11th edition, which is pretty impressive for McGraw-Hill. And did a memoir, which is an amazing story. And at some point, we should probably just do a call on that.
Yeah.
Great book, Meeting Her Match. And it's really the story of a female athlete coach before and after Title IX. So, Debbie, I couldn't think of a better moderator for this panel, and I want to hand it off to you. And
many people in BodyWise already know my story, but I'll kind of summarize. My entire life, I've been involved in sports, athletics, and fitness. I started out as a college athlete at Indiana University, and then I was a high school coach. I coached tennis, basketball, and volleyball at the high school level. And then I was hired by Ball State University to be an assistant professor of health and wellness and to be the head women's basketball coach. I taught a vast array of fitness classes my entire 35 years of education. And as you said, I published a college textbook with McGraw-Hill on fitness and wellness that's used all over the country in college health classes. So I've always been very passionate about exercise personally. Of course, I've transitioned now in my more elder years that I'm not certainly a performance athlete, but I'm a daily exerciser. I teach an older women's exercise class. I think the average age is 70 years of age in the class that I'm teaching. And we work on balance and strength and flexibility and so forth. But my husband is really a very dedicated athlete. He's run multiple marathons, including the Boston Marathon. And that would be the bombing Boston Marathon. He ran that marathon. And he's an ongoing runner in our running club with guys that are much younger than he is. Our son carried on the tradition by being an All-American athlete in Division I cross country and track and field at Indiana University. So we are truly a fitness family. And for 29 years, we've been very pleased to be involved with the BodyWise products. Yes, 29 years, I've swallowed the AMs and PMs and multiple other products, not missing a day that I can remember. And of course, these products have enhanced our fitness, our performance, our recovery, our immune systems. I mean, people look at Jim and me when we go to events and they go, we cannot believe how healthy you guys are. What do you do? And of course, we say we're ongoing exercisers and we take the BodyWise product. So these products, probably the most important thing now is it's kept us healthy compared to a lot of our peers, and Bill probably knows this, when you get to 70, which I have reached now, many of your peers are on a lot of medications. They're unable to exercise. They can't get through the day without fatigue. And I think the BodyWise products have contributed heavily to that as well, along with, of course, healthy eating and regular exercise. So do I run as fast as I did when I was 40 years old or 50 years old? No, but I'm still going. That's the most important thing. We're still able to exercise. I don't miss a day, whether I don't do a power walk, a swim in the pool, a bike ride, or jump on the elliptical or do weights. I mean, I don't do all that every day, but every day there's something in my regimen. So we're still at it. And I think our superior health has been contributed to heavily by the BodyWise products. We've religiously taken the AMs and the PMs, the Beta C, the Alonce shakes, AG Immune, and this time during our scary time with these viruses and such, we would not go a day without the AG Immune to support our immune system. So we are exercisers for life, and we are BodyWisers for life. So I'm delighted to meet our two special people on the call tonight. I haven't met you before, but I did read about you. And I'd like to introduce Michelle Smith and Todd Waldner. I got their resume here, which is very impressive. Michelle is a certified ISSA personal trainer and AFAA group fitness instructor. And by the way, those certifications are not easy to come by, I know. And she lives in Newport Beach, California. A former college athlete, she teaches outdoor bar and boot camp fitness classes, which I have partaken in, so I know how rough those are. I'm very impressed with those. And also provides nutritional counseling. Todd is a former triathlete and Ironman competitor, which is a lot of different events and a lot of distances. And he now coaches young athletes and adults in Fresno, California, and holds a USAT Level 2 coaching certification, USAT Youth and Junior certification, and a USA Cycling coaching certification. So these two guys have a lot behind them in terms of fitness background, and we're thrilled that they are BodyWise consumers and BodyWise proponents. So Michelle, I want to start with you. Do you have anything to add to your Vita? And tell us a little bit more about your background. What college sport did you play? How did you get involved with the BodyWise products? And what products do you particularly enjoy?
Well, thank you for having me this evening. It's an honor to be here. And I actually started my group fitness instruction certification back in college. I taught, at the time it was step aerobics, a lot of that strength training. So I was really into that. Always been a very active person with hiking, stuff as a child, dance, ballet, gymnastics. That's why I really was gravitating towards the bar workout and Pilates, because it includes those elements of classical ballet, some Pilates and yoga, stretch, a lot of that movement that I feel is so therapeutic, along with the stretches for flexibility, core balance, because as we get older, as you said, we have to really work on our core and our balance as we age. So I've been teaching those classes I started that in college. Taught till I was about 30 on a part-time basis as I was in my corporate job. Got away a little bit from it, but then started teaching again back at 40. I had a little career change, and that's when I started doing more of the personal training and a little bit more instruction on a full-time basis. And when I moved here, right at the height of the pandemic, I'm originally from the East Coast, all our fitness facilities were closed. And so I started an outdoor fitness group, because just to keep that connectivity of people that they feel that they can safely exercise and stay connected outdoors. We have such fabulous weather here all the time. So I've been doing that along with personal training and some nutrition and some virtual personal training, just for people across the country or who might not be comfortable still with more close interaction. So I've been doing that. And I was very fortunate enough to be introduced to BodyWise last October. I was walking my dog, met Tina Richards down by the beach. We just started chatting, and she had told me that she had been on BodyWise, I think over 25 years, and just how fabulous these products are, how they've helped her with her health and just overall wellness. So I was very intrigued because have not found really a supplement line that I felt so dedicated to, where I noticed a difference in how I felt, my athletic performance, my sleep, my recovery. And probably within a couple of short weeks, I was very, very impressed. I started out with the AG Immune Foundation kit with AMPM's AG Immune, particularly with, like you said, the scary times. It was a perfect time to incorporate that into my daily regimen. I also began taking, I've ordered the shakes. I love the protein powders for a meal replacement, for a quick grab and go healthy meal. I also added super omegas. And I am thinking of, I want to order the Optimize. I want to start taking that. I took it for 1 month, but there is some eye disease in my family, and I know they've been newly formulated. So I'm very excited to add that in, because turning 50 this past couple months, it's, you start thinking about these things. So, I'm just going to keep, continuing. I definitely will be a lifetime user as well.
Michelle, you're the only person on the call that's not wearing glasses, I see. So
I have contacts in.
You're not quite there. I
cheated
yet.
A little bit.
Yeah, you're not in the club yet. Yeah, your club. Okay, do you take any of the special athletic performance products like Oxy-G or Supercell or anything like that?
No, I was thinking of adding Supercell. I know that Tina had said that she had used Oxy-G when she was doing more of her competitions and everything, and she really said that it was fabulous. So I do want to try taking it to that next level and incorporating one of the sports formulas.
Right. The Oxy-G, which is an oxygenator, is used heavily by a lot of athletes as before they go on an endurance athlete per se. And I mean, my husband used to take Oxy-G and Supercell all throughout the marathon when he was running a marathon, which took him just a little under 4 hours. So
wow,
it's a long time.
Yeah,
those products are very geared toward performance. No doubt about it. And I have a friend that was taking Oxy-G when they traveled out to Colorado to do some hiking. And with the elevation.
Yes.
She said the Oxy-G helped her with feeling like she could breathe better and get more oxygen.
Oh, that's good to know. I might be visiting a friend in Colorado soon. I will definitely bring it with me. For hiking.
That's a great product for that. We'll come back to you, Michelle, but Todd,
sure.
Tell us about you. I gave a little bit of a summary about the triathletes and the athletes you're coaching and such. Tell us about you and your background and BodyWise.
Well, thank you very much for having me and inviting me to this call. I appreciate that. I have been a BodyWise user since 1989. Got started on the BodyWise when Tom Tierney had the organization and had a chance to visit Vitatech and the manufacturing facility way back in the day. I was introduced through someone in my network here. I was at that time a competitive triathlete and looking for products that gave me an edge in both training, recovery, performance, and the BodyWise products really stepped up and showed me that there were products that I could use across really all platforms of my life, whether it was just personal health, athletic performance, or anti-aging. I have had tremendous results with the product. You know, people ask me how I maintain such good health. So it's a great way for me when the door opens, and it's because I give credit to the BodyWise products in a big way. Now, what dovetailing off what you said, Debbie, you know, it's a lifestyle, and adding the components to that lifestyle, that utilizing the performance products such as the OxyG and the Supercell, both from a performance standpoint and recovery standpoint, are phenomenal. My background as a coach, I've been coaching the sport of triathlon for a little over 20 years now. I coach a high performance team of athletes between the ages of 13 and 19, as well as adults. My own performance, I won the Chicago Triathlon 2 years ago. I won't tell you what age group I was in, but chronologically advantaged group. So I can testify beyond a doubt that the products are phenomenal. And I use on a regular basis the AMs and PMs, the OxyG for performance, the Supercell on a daily basis, and the Launch, both for carbo load and a recovery drink at different times. I also use the Joint Complete. I use a lot of the products on a pretty regular basis.
Well, Todd, I like the way you talked about you were introduced to BodyWise right at the beginning with Tom Tierney. I mean, I was at some of those very early meetings in terms of meeting Tom Tierney, seeing the manufacturing facility, and that's what really turned me on initially, because we didn't have a lot of product testimonials at that time. But when I saw the way the BodyWise products were manufactured, the excellence, the quality, the integrity behind every single pill, that was a really game changer for me as a professor at a university who didn't want to be, connected with like snake oil. I mean, I got a lot of letters and a lot of calls from people saying, try this product, try that product, your coach, your athletes need to be this, and I always said no. And after I saw the products, how they were manufactured at BodyWise, that was what I wanted for my family. And then I finally recommended for other people as well. I got a kick out of you saying, you don't know how much money you spent on these products. Well, when I first introduced these products to people, they would be concerned about the cost a little bit. They're more than the Walmart vitamins or the CVS vitamins, of course, but of course you say the cost of your health, how can you put an amount on that? But I used to say, if I could show you a way to have these products paid for and get them free, would you be interested in that?
There you go.
So the business opportunity kind of emerged from the talk about the cost of the products as well. So I want to ask you, I know there are different distances in Ironman competitions. There's the sprint and the full, and for people that listen to this call, will you tell them what the distances are? When they talk about we hear about triathlon, tell them what the distances are so we can get it in our head what you actually were doing.
Okay, so I'm going to start at the entry level, and we call that the super sprint. That would be a 350-yard swim, a 6-mile bike, and a 1.5 to 2-mile run, depending on the race director. Okay, everything then moving forward doubles in distance. So you go to the sprint distance, you're looking at a 750 swim, a 12-mile bike, and a 5K run. Moving forward to the Olympic, which is the distance that is in the Olympic Games, okay, you have a 1.5K swim, 40K bike, 10K run. Translates to 0.9 of a mile swim, 24-mile bike, and 6-mile run. That's my favorite distance, and that's what I did in Chicago.
Okay.
Then moving forward from there, the half Ironman doubles that, except for the swim. The swim is 1.2, bike is 56, and the run is a half marathon. Moving forward to the Ironman, okay, 2.2 mile swim, 112-mile bike, full marathon run, and have a great day.
You know, Todd, I've known some people, there's a guy in our running club that has done a double full Ironman.
That's a beast.
And he was saying, he said, basically, he told me that's really for sissies. He said, I actually did a triple full Ironman.
Yeah.
That takes days.
That's insane.
It is insane, and he is insane. Yes.
Yeah.
But,
I mean, at some point, I think you have to look at the mechanics and the skeletal integrity of your body,
right,
and say, how long do you want to be able to do the things that you do?
Right. Right.
My goal is to be the oldest triathlete on the planet.
Well, as I said before, as we get to be more chronologically aged, being able to successfully exercise without injury and without extreme fatigue is the most important to many of us now. At one time, we were all competitive. Michelle, at one time, you were competitive. Now your goal is to keep exercising and being able to recommend nutrition and exercise for people so they can keep exercising up into their 70s, correct?
Yes, exactly. It seems like my client base with my classes and even with training, they're primarily women, probably aged late 30s to mid 60s, close to 70. And really it's just staying active. Also just being able to, like you said, just create that core balance, body strength, bone density, mobility, so that as we age, you know, we're not going to fall. We have just sort of that foundation in place to just stay healthy and enjoy life and the activities as we age.
Right, right. Well, Todd, if I could say to you, you can take only 4 BodyWise products, which 4 would you select?
I'd say that's no fair. I would take 4 products. Now, am I training in racing or?
Okay, we can make it like your normal non-competitor and then a competitor. So
okay,
you can break it down to 2.
Non-competitor, average person just doing regular,
Average things.
All right, I would AMs and PMs for sure. Depending on my age, essential calcium would probably be in there. definitely the Elance. And how many is that now?
That's 3. You can pick one more.
Then I would.
Was it 4, Bill? I'm sorry.
I would definitely ante up and take the Supercell.
All right. As an athlete, put yourself into an athlete's gear and you're training, competing. What would you take?
I would take all of those plus the Oxy-G and the Male Advantage.
Okay.
And the Joint Complete.
Okay.
I take all of those
anyway, right?
Yeah.
I mean, I'm putting you on. I know I'm putting you on the spot, but it's just like people say, well, which one should I take? And it's kind of nice to know if you're a competitor versus, I'm going to step aerobics every other day.
Right. And I think when we're bringing people into the BodyWise fold, almost like from a coaching perspective, and Michelle can probably relate to this. You want to analyze your athlete. What are their goals? What are they looking for? What have they done in the past?
Right.
What are they taking now? What are they not taking? Sort of an athlete assessment, so to speak, or a person assessment.
Right. Mm-hmm. Yeah. Okay. Michelle, what about you? If I said 4 products, you pick. What do you take?
I would definitely stick with the Immune Foundation kit. I love how the daily mornings and evening, how those AMs and PMs make me feel. And I really feel that an immune support supplement is so important, very critical for recovery, just for everything that we do every day, exposed to toxins and cancers and viruses. I think that I really want to try the Supercell. I think that's going to be great. And I really enjoy also those proteins, the Elance protein. I think it's just such a complete vitamin, mineral, and protein. So those would be my top.
Okay, good. I want to tell you all something that through my experience with the BodyWise products, as I told you, our son was an NCAA competitive athlete. And so he had to go through intense drug testing, just random drug testing all throughout his 4 years of athletics, running track, indoor track, and cross country. And he was on the BodyWise products. And, a lot of times these athletes, all of a sudden something shows up in their system. And the athlete says, well, I didn't know. I was just taking a vitamin. And all of a sudden something's illegal in the NCAA or Olympic regimen. Our son constantly was tested, and being on the BodyWise products, nothing ever showed up as being askew in his testing. And so that speaks for there's not anything sneaky in these products for athletes. I thought that was a very important point. And I did even ask Tom Tierney when I started my son on the product, tell me, Tom, is there anything in here that's going to show up that's going to cause him to be disqualified? And he said, absolutely nothing will happen. So, and it didn't in all of his years of competition. So anybody that listens to this call, that's an important point. There's nothing that's illegal in any of these products that shows up. Anything else, Todd or Michelle, you want to add before we open it up for Q&A?
No, I'm just so thrilled to have discovered this line of supplements. I really feel that it has just overall my energy, just taking my workouts to the next level. I really feel fantastic, actually never better. So I'm very pleased. We'll be a lifetime taker.
All right. Best is yet to come.
Exactly.
John Paul, do you want to open up for any Q&A, or how do you want to go from here?
Sure. I'll open it up for everybody who's here to ask a question or make a comment. I'd also like to ask Todd and Michelle if they have any personal tips to get the most out of every workout and to get a faster recovery?
What's that for me?
For you and Michelle, is there any approach you take to working out to get a better performance from your workout?
I think that well, Michelle, go ahead if you have more comment first.
Okay. I always, in terms of getting the most out of a workout, I always tell my clients, sometimes they think, oh, I have to exercise 2 hours a day, 3 hours a day. And I always try to tell them that it's really about the quality of your workout. I always incorporate some weights. I always do compound exercises where we are using multiple muscles at once, also to mimic just your regular everyday movements in the body. I periodize the workouts when I see them reaching that next level in terms of maybe adding more repetitions, heavier weights. Always focus, making sure that someone is in good, proper form. That's so important in terms of getting the most out of your exercise. Switching up different variations of exercise so that we sort of change the muscles we recruit when we're doing them, just to kind of keep the body guessing, as well as just always keeping the body going. And also, I always say that when you're done with your workout, I always recommend, I love the protein shakes after, just to fuel your body with high quality proteins, just to help the muscles build back up. So that's really a couple of the things that I always tell. And I always tell people, do something that you enjoy. If you enjoy hiking, walking, you're more likely to be consistent and active if you're enjoying your activities.
Yeah, I would agree with that wholeheartedly. For me, I really put a lot of emphasis on doing athlete assessment, and then encouraging my athletes to look at the periodization of what they're doing, because a lot of my training is done over a period of time. They could be training for their first super sprint, triathlon, or they could be training for a half Ironman or an Ironman. So that analysis of the athlete or the person based on what their goals are and their needs are, and then trying to fit that to what body-wise products I think will work best for them. The whole thing for me really is the periodization, the nutritional part of the periodization, the exercise part of the exercise or training part of the periodization, and certainly the rest portion of the periodization, which allows the body to, the adaptation process to take place based on where you're moving that athlete from and taking them to.
And this is for the whole panel. I first want to make a quick comment, and I know that Todd and Debbie will remember this. We had the women's softball Olympic team on a magazine we used to have called Body Talk Magazine. If you guys recall, we had a big picture of I forget what year it was, of the Olympic softball team that was obviously taking body-wise products. So it was kind of cool to have that. So yeah, we're clean as it can get when it comes to purity and potency and no junk in the thing. And I figured Todd would remember that. But if this is for the whole panel, and I'm just curious. I always wondered, because I typically work out 4 or 5 days a week, and my question is, I got 2 questions actually. Supplementation wise, what do you take prior to a workout, post-workout, and a totally different question, stretching? Just a simple act of stretching. Is it appropriate to do after your workout or not? I'm just curious about that, because I lack doing that most of the time, except maybe my legs afterwards. But I just was curious, and anybody can take that, or everybody, or whatever. I just like to know.
I've always been a proponent of stretching after the workout. When your muscles are nice and warm, they're more pliable. I think when you're cold, it's not a very good thing to stretch. I believe in doing some activity to get the muscles in the body going, that's kind of like your pre-workout regimen, and then stretching afterwards.
Yeah, I would dovetail off of exactly what Debbie said, that I don't think you want to stretch a cold muscle. I encourage all my athletes to do some sort of muscle recruitment before they exercise, just to kind of put the muscle groups on notice that they're going to be used, abrasive, okay, so to speak. And then I agree with Debbie that post exercise, when the muscle's warm, you definitely should have a good stretching regimen. Yoga.
Remember in old-fashioned PE classes what we did? We lined up, they took attendance, and we did like jumping jacks,
Right.
or marching in place.
Right.
Then you did the exercise. We can go back to that. March in place, jumping jacks, little muscle recruitment, and stretch afterwards.
Dynamic warm-up, yeah.
Yep.
So bands, like I use a real lightweight, it's resistance, but not much band work before I do my lifting and stuff.
That's all right.
Okay, just something very light.
Yeah,
That's
just easy.
strenuous.
Just like Todd said, muscle recruitment. Get the muscles going, not necessarily stretch them to their full potential yet. Yeah.
And the supplementation, like right now I do AMs, Supercell, Oxy G, and I'm on my, and by the way, anyway, before and after, supplementation before is, and then I just take everything else afterwards, including the shake for replenishment, because I know the cells are ready for anything. You can give it right after you work out. So I try and rush home and slam a shake before I do anything else. I'm just curious if that's the right thing to do, because I don't eat before I go to the gym.
I tend to do that as well. I work out first thing in the morning. My classes are early, so I tend to do all of my physical activity, and then I always I do the shake as well, or just some other just source of protein. I take my AG Immunes promptly as well, and then once I eat, have something in my stomach, I take my AMs. So I kind of follow that same structure.
Okay, thank you, guys.
And so now I think I'd like to ask Bill, do you have any final thoughts on this great presentation?
I have thoughts. I hope they're not final. So, hey guys, first of all, a big thank you to Steve, who is amazing in so many ways. And gosh, I got to tell you, I didn't realize Todd, that's over, my math says that's over 30 years. And that's pretty amazing because, of course, I bought the company from Tom Tierney. And one of the things that most impressed me when I was reviewing whether or not to buy the company was the manufacturing and the quality of the products. Tom insisted on the highest quality. And certainly that's what we have tried to do since I bought the company, which is to maintain that kind of high quality. Reminds me, Steve, there's a friend of mine, he's now didn't have enough body white products, so he left this planet, but his name was Wayne Huizinga. And I
remember him.
Wayne, of course, Wayne was the founder of Waste Management and Auto Nation and Blockbuster, and owned the Dolphins and the Marlins. I mean, he did it all. But when I talked with him, I found out he was buying Walmart products. That's the nutritional product. So it wasn't a question of dollars. He just didn't know. I mean, he didn't know any better. And his wife would go to Walmart and she'd buy him the Walmart supplements. So anyway, the point I'm making is you got to introduce people to these products. You got to educate them. And a special thanks to Debbie, of course, but also to Todd and Michelle. Michelle, when I work out like this morning, I'm here in Maine at my summer home. There's a swimming pool. So I dove in this morning and did a little swimming. I used to be I was a competitive swimmer, but was I a great competitive swimmer? That's a different issue. But we also have an outdoor hot tub, which is carved into the rock here. And so I swim and then I hit the hot tub, which gets my muscle warmed up and ready to go. Michelle, for me, and I'm in my 70s, and I won't indicate where in the 70s, but in terms of workouts, I have a trainer, and I always now work out. My workouts with weights and aerobics are, except stationary bike, is always with a trainer. And one of the reasons why, I know what I'm supposed to do, but whether it's 9 a.m. or 10 a.m. or 10 to whatever it is, okay, if I got the trainer, I got to go do it. I can find a million things to do other than work out. It is a mental thing, right? It's a discipline. And
Yeah.
as you get older, at least in my case, and I'm a pretty disciplined guy, but it's just not, it doesn't get any easier to maintain that focus and discipline. So, for someone like yourself that's really motivating and energizing people and educating people, I just congratulate you. And you look, if you told me you were 30, I'd go, okay, yeah, I buy it.
Oh, thank you.
No, so you walk and talk. And Todd, oh my God, that's amazing what he is doing, right? Because I know he's over 40, and that's just amazing, the kind of things that he is doing on a daily basis. But again, it's a combination of nutrition. I certainly have shakes every day. That's one of the things, because I don't want to, there's not that many meals I really want to have in a day. And the protein shake is really one of the mainstays of my day, plus all the other products. I get a pretty good price on these products, so I have a tendency to use almost all of them. But anyway, guys, this has been an important call. I think, you guys are the epitome of taking product and being focused and being disciplined and leading a healthy life. And that's what we're trying to do with the BodyWise products, educate people so that they can lead a healthier life into their 70s and their 80s and 90s. And of course, 30s and 40s. Anyway, guys, thanks so much. Jean-Paul, I'm going to sign off. And again, thank you everyone for joining us on this call. Bye for now.
Thank you.
Sure.
Thanks, Bill.
Okay,
Bye.
Todd.
Thank you.
Night, everybody. Take care.
Two thumbs
Good night.
up.